Hello there, welcome back, how's everything? I'm Larry Haddock here with the free game Retrospective. Now today, a free game from back in January 2023 from Epic Games, Kerbal Space Program. Now the thing is, I already had bought the game many moons ago because it is such a great game. So let's strap in next to Jebediah, check your staging, and let's launch into this. And don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, as I really do appreciate it. First released back in 2015, the game has been updated multiple times over the years, and it runs great. Private Division made a great game from day one, but they also improved it over time to the fantastic version we'll be looking at today. If you aren't already aware, KSP, I'm probably just going to refer to it as that from now. It's a space agency simulator, which includes everything you expect. Build rockets, do science, take contracts, manage your crew and finances. As a starting point, I do highly recommend playing career mode first, taking contracts and learning the ropes. It's a fantastic game, but it does take a bit of learning to truly get the most out of it. Picking your early contracts seems quite easy. Get over X thousand meters and land safely, etc. But you'll be amazed at how difficult sometimes even the simplest of things can be. Like getting your first satellite into orbit. Something I do highly recommend is to check out the KSP forums, Reddit, and its Steam community. There are some great guides people have made to assist you with your rocket science shenanigans. I mean, in all seriousness, how many people know how to insert an object into orbit, to rendezvous with another object, and then to have them meet in space and connect together? But I'm getting ahead of myself there. The main crux of the career is to keep your agency in business while exploring the solar system. As mentioned, you'll take on contracts which are actually quite varied, whether it's testing components such as rocket engines or a parachute, or to temperature readings nearby. As well as those more simple tests, it does get harder. Another type is placing something in a specific orbit, or even a rescue, whether from orbit or another celestial body. Now, with your starting components, you'll not necessarily be able to complete all of the contracts that are available. This is where learning to get the most from each launch comes in, and it all comes down to science. Got a contract for launching over a certain height? Attach an antenna on and some science instruments and voila, you can collect data at different altitudes, adding to your science credits, which will allow you to upgrade your components. To quote Anakin Skywalker, this is where the fun begins. Now, with better engines, fuel tanks, command modules, landing legs, and others, you'll truly start your own space race. I do believe that it's a slight shame that there isn't another organisation that you're competing against, but regardless of that, you'll be challenging yourself to get certain firsts. First communication constellations, landing on the moon, or launching a satellite to a far-off planet. Yet other times, you'll create your own challenge, like my own one of getting the lowest moon orbit I can without hitting a mountain. It may not be a contract, but you'll find yourself needing more science credits to get something new to play with, so you'll be creating satellites to send off and keep going back to during other launches. Saying that, there is something that happens as you play. You learn. Before long, you'll be understanding orbital planes and delta V. Yes, the universe is a lower ratio than in true life, but the physics and principles are the same. Don't want to waste your time growing your agency by performing science? Enter sandbox mode. Everything is already unlocked, allowing you full access to parts, and you can create some truly incredible vessels or some absolute monstrosities. There is also a cheat menu available, which can assist with the practice of maneuvers or for you to see objects that you were struggling to see in career mode, for example. It does take away a lot of the pride of getting a moon base somehow there, even though it's about as aerodynamic as a fridge, and you have more solid rocket boosters than the bones in your body. But you'll have fun. Yes, it can get frustrating. Why does my plane just backflip into the ground on takeoff? Or why does my rocket keep not making orbit? Despite the frustrations, you'll enjoy yourself. Like I mentioned earlier, this game has been out since 2015, and in that time frame, the community has grown both for advice and guidance, all the way to mods. This is what takes KSP to another level. More parts, different textures, uploaded creations, autopilots, all community made, and truly enhance the game further. In all seriousness, some additions like BD Armory you don't think you'll necessarily use. Next thing you know, you're launching a rocket and switching to your newly created anti-air launcher, targeting via radar, and launching a missile to take the rocket down. And who doesn't love using a minigun too? I've had such fun since adding that mod. Mods like MechJeb are incredible. The level of automation you can bring to your craft will blow your mind. Need to land on the moon? MechJeb's got you. Need to dock 2 craft in orbit? MechJeb to the rescue. Being a sea-schooled fish, I can only imagine the sorts of programming and calculations that were needed to bring this tool to fruition. On top of this, I do think that MechJeb is a must-have at all times. Allows you to put on an autopilot whilst you're doing some of the more tedious, like in-orbit travel to boost your science. Mods. Mods make the world go round. Now, I know I've mentioned mods before in a tangent tank, but I actually wrote this script first, and, personally, I believe that providing solid modded tools will always benefit a game. Consider some of the biggest PC games over the years: Half-Life 1 and 2, Unreal Tournament, Battlefield 1942. All of them had solid modding communities, and in doing so actually provided full-fledged games based on the mods. Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, Red Orchestra, and, going to be controversial here, but Battlefront. There were Star Wars mods created for most of the Battlefield earlier games, and tell me you don't see a correlation as well between Desert Combat for Battlefield 1942 and then Battlefield 2 came along. But again, I digress. Mods, to me, will often be the reason that I'll get a game. If I see they've got good mods, whether it's via the Steam Workshop or ModDB, I'll be more inclined to give it a try. Mount & Blade, I was interested in, then I saw there were 2 different Game of Thrones mods. Sold. I got Half-Life because I'd played Counter-Strike at a friend's. Didn't complete the game until years later, as I was busy playing Day of Defeat, Counter-Strike and Team Fortress. But away from gaming, the people behind these mods for KSP in particular have both the mathematical know-how and programming skills to have pretty much any craft you make land on a celestial body using thrusters. Get these guys working for NASA and the 2 private companies that landed, but not as they wanted, on the moon recently. Don't get me wrong, without touching mods you're likely to get multiple hours, if not into the 10s, or even into the 100s of vanilla KSP. Now, whether you're completing a career mode or just dicking about in Sandbox, you'll find such a sense of achievement in successfully completing a task, whether it's set by yourself or the contract. The second you touch down on the moon, having completed a successful launch, will have you leaning back in your chair wanting to light a cigar like a hero ground control character from a movie. At the same point, you'll also be absolutely devastated when you launch, get to orbit fine, execute your transfer to the moon's orbit perfectly, spot your landing site, start descending to the surface, and boom, you hit the ground too fast, or you bounce on landing and flip, and boop, all gone. Like true space agencies though, every failure will teach you something, whether it's to improve your aerodynamics or whether it's adding more boosters to ensure you can slow down enough when landing. You'll learn. I seriously don't know what else to say about this game. If it's in your library, definitely get it downloaded, and if you didn't pick it up when it was free on Epic, then it's worth a buy, whether full price or in a sale. You'll enjoy yourself. Just a side note before we finish, I highly recommend CCAN, which is a great tool for installing and uninstalling mods into the game. Find mods you like and enjoy yourself. Well, all I can say now is thanks for joining me today, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Layering Haddock to ground control, over and out.